On this episode, we're here at the Spokane Speed and Custom Show. Got a booth set up, chassis, car in progress in bare metal, and then we'll go around a little bit and show you the vehicles. It's quite the wide variety of vehicles. So we'll just go through our booth a little bit, kind of show you what we have on display. Here in the corner is our drill guides, if you're not familiar with them. Basically what they are is a way to re-drill your lug pattern without having to buy new axles, brakes, hubs, all that. So they bolt on here, got different patterns. So you have your existing pattern, and then a lot of them are multi-lug, so you have a couple different patterns that it enables you to re-drill to change wheels or whatever. So for instance, this one would change from 4.5, it'd bolt on to 4.5 or 4 3/4, and it would drill to 4.5 or 4 3/4. So this is a real popular one. People putting like a Ford 9-inch into a Chevy. So going from a Ford pattern to a small Ford, small Chevy, back and forth. So we have about 5 or 6 combinations that are very common that we keep in stock. And so that's a really good tool, and sell a lot of them. So that's something cool there. So the other thing is these are just 5-lug. Changing 5-lug to 5-lug. We can't do anything that changes from like 4-lug to 5-lug or 6-lug down to 5-lug. It's just, you have to keep the same number of lugs because the patterns interfere with each other. So if you have a 4-lug, then it's going to be half in here. Your 4-lug is going to be like half on the new pattern and half on the old. Like the angles don't work out to be able to convert that. So unfortunately, if you're trying to change the number of lugs, you have to change your axles or hub. So then we just got a whole new reprint of all 3 designs of our shirts. So hit us up if you want a shirt. We're gonna load them all up onto the website. 34 Ford pickup, 51 GMC shop truck that we autocross, and 34 Dodge pickup hot rod. 37 actually, if I would remember right. And then we have the Tacoma IFS Kit. So this takes first generation Tacoma pickup and puts an airbag front kit, new spindle, all new suspension, changed the geometry, and gets 10 inches of total travel on the truck and lays out on the frame even without a body drop. And you'll see there on our YouTube page we have some installation instructions. We did some filming and are putting together a shop truck showing all the stuff we're doing for Tacoma. So, and then here's just an example here of some of the parts people can look at. All our stuff's fully TIG welded, laser cut in-house, machined bushing ends are all machined. So pretty much everything is made in-house that we can, other than bolts and suspension stuff. So then over here in the main part of the booth, got a roller for 39 Merc chassis. So this is full air ride, 9 inches of lift in the front, 10 in the back. It's got our proprietary, fully designed IFS kit. Suspension, our front spindle, upright design that uses C7 Corvette, Willwood brakes, Bilstein shocks, sweet manufacturing power rack. Actually, this one is a manual rack. We normally put power, but this one's manual because he's gonna use a electric power steering. So that will be in line on the column. So we just did a manual rack version there. And then it's got our wishbone style rear suspension, which utilizes kind of like a 3-link. So we have this kick up and we have this wishbone style with a uniball center pivot, and then a bag on lower bar with cantilevered shocks on the side. So this allows us to get a nice, good ride with bag on bar, but then also not have to have, like, it's all a congruent system here. So we have this shock that's laid down right above the bag mount with a bell crank at 2-to-1 to be able to use the full stroke of the shock here. And then Ford 9-inch brand new Dutchman Motorsports Willwood disc brakes matching from the rear, front and rear. So now this one's gonna go back to the shop. We're gonna mount the body, put the motor in, transmission, put all the cross members, and start building the rest of the car. So that'll be a good one, and just getting going. So over here we have Rick House's 38 Chevy Coupe in progress. Got it here in bare metal on the chassis and making good progress. So Rob and the crew down at the jalopy shop have been working on the bare metal magic for this thing, getting a bunch of the panels replaced, getting all new sheet metal floors. Used to have rear fiberglass fenders. Now we got some steel fenders, new running boards. They've done a bunch of work on replacing the door. It's got wedge chop in it. And a lot of these details, if you're not familiar, are on YouTube for Jester's Garage. He's been doing a whole documentation of this whole build down at the jalopy shop, and then also us building the chassis for it. So it's on one of our coilover chassis. And so some of the details are there. We can go watch that and check it out. And I'll put a link in the video too, so you can. And then these are just on some mock-up wheels that we have just cut with a laser, so we can get the offset right and we can get all the steering geometry and make sure we got fender clearance, because he basically wants to put this down there as far as he can and still make it drivable. So this car is going to be driven a lot, so we want to make sure it functions well. So 427 cubic inch LS motor with some pretty cool parts on it, and then, you know, basically everything here for the chassis and the motor and setback firewall, and then all the custom mounts. So have it here showing off our work, plus all the guys at the jalopy shop. So check out Jester's Garage for more details on that, and then we'll keep doing updates on this car as it goes and we get it fully completed. And then stuffed over here in the corner, we have our mini truck back half. It's kind of stuffed in there a little bit, but just have this on display to show a different back half that we make for the mini trucks in general. Also Tacoma features Watts link with a parallel 4 link. Same thing, 10 inches of airbag travel. And we're gonna be offering this here very soon on the website and everything for purchase, and it'll be complete back half rails and all this. And we're gonna develop a fuel tank for the rear and air tank, compressor mounts, all the little details. Cool thing we've got here is adjustable bed mounts. So, you know, that way things always get a little bit, and you don't have to use shims. So you can loosen these bolts, and then there's a jack screw in the bottom, and this whole upper piece here will slide up and down, and then you can tighten everything back up. And so that allows you to get all 4 corners adjusted perfectly, and you don't have to make aluminum pucks or washers or, you know, all the things that people do to try to level their bed and get everything all straight and square from the cab. So cool little thing there. So anyway, that's what we got in the booth. We'll run around the show. Oh yeah, and the latest addition to the break room at the shop, gonna have some pinball wars. It's like 1976, I think, is the year on this, Knight Rider. We've been playing it here in the booth already, and it's pretty fun. So anyway, we'll add that into the shop, and we'll run around the show now and show you the wide range of vehicles that are there. There's some pretty cool stuff here, and give you an idea of what's here at the good show. And thanks to Brian and the crew and for letting us be here at the Spokane Speed and Custom.